Let me talk about this particular program. And while we're doing this is we're going to talk about nested for loops and the way they can affect the way your processing works. So I want you to get comfortable with being able to follow this. So I made a really simple one and I just added one small wrinkle. So as you come in here, you have your public class main, and then you have public static void main, which is the entry point. Then you've got int count equals 0. So I'm setting the value of count to 0. Then now I'm coming into my for loop, which I need to set my initial r to 0. And I need to check to see is r less than 3. So that's true. So then I come down here. I do another for loop. I set c to 0. I check to see if c is less than 5. Then I come down here and I add 1 to count. So at this point, count is 1. Then I go and I print. So I'm printing r and count. So I'm going to be printing r is 0. And then c is 0. And then count is 1. Then I hit the print ln. And that basically goes to a new line. Then I come back around and I add 2 to C. So when I add 2 to C, that means I'm saying is 2 less than 5. It is. So then I add 1 to count, and then I print, and then now my output's going to say R colon 0, C colon 2, count colon 2. Then I print ln, so I go to a new line. I come back around. I say C equals C plus 2. Then I check to see is 4 less than 5. It is. So then I add 1 to count. So now my output's going to be R colon 0 and C colon 4. And then count equals 3. Then I come back around again and I check C equals C plus 2, which makes it now 6. Is 6 less than 5? No, 6 is not less than 5. Then I drop down to here and then I print a blank line. Then I come back up to here. And one of the effects of this is that it flushes the C down here. So C is no longer defined. So since I'm on the outer one, I have to look at this R++. Then I go check is R less than 3. Well, we know from the prior time that R was 0. So if I do R++, it's now 1. So then I drop down here. C gets reinitialized to 0. Then I check to say is 0, C less than 5. Then I do count. And I print it out. And what gets printed is R colon 1, C colon 0, and count is 4. So we didn't reset count at all. It got set up here, and it's going to continue to keep incrementing even though it's inside this inner loop. Then I do system.println, which is going to put a new line. Then I'm going to go back up here, C equals C plus 2. So that means 0 plus 2. So now, when I come down here, count plus plus. So I'm going to go ahead and print out R colon, concatenate it to R, which now R is still 1, because it's on the outer part. And then C is equal to 2, and count is 5. Then I repeat this process. I go to a new line, come back up, C equals C plus 2. Well, 6 is not less than 5. So, I'm sorry. This is going to be 4. 4 is less than 5. So I do my count, and then I print out R, which R is still 1 because that's the outer part. C is now 4. Then count is 6. Then I print a new line. Then I come back up. C equals C plus 2, which is 6. 6 is not less than 5. Then I add 1 to count. Then I print R colon oh, I'm sorry, that fails, R colon. No, if it fails, that just drops down here. Then I start back up here, but remember, I'm not starting this from the beginning. I just go to this R right here. So now R is 2. I drop down to here. C goes back to 0. And then I go down and check this C less than 5 it is. I add 1 to count. Then I print R colon, and R is 2 because we set it up there. And then C, which starts over at 0. So C colon 2, and then count colon concatenated to count, which will give me a 7. So then I come back around, and then C equals C plus 2. So 0 plus C equals 2. So I check to see if C is less than 5 it is. Then I add 1 more to count. That makes count 8. So when I print, I'm going to have R colon, which is 2. And then I'm going to have C colon, which is 2. And then I'm going to have count, which is going to be 8. Then I go to a new line. Then I say C equals C plus 2. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 is less than 5. I come down here and add 1 to count. So now count's 9. When I print, R is going to be 2. And C is going to be 4. Or 4, I'm sorry. And 4 is less than 5. Then I add 1 to count, which makes it 9. Then I do R colon, which is R2, because that's what we're up to up here. And then we're going to do C colon, concatenated to C, which is 4. And then count, concatenated count, which is 9. Then print ln, I add 2 more. Now that's 6. 6 is not less than 5. This fails, and it prints a blank line. Then I come back up here and I add 1 more. Well, now 3 is not less than 3. Then it drops down to the bottom. We're going to do this on the board, and I'm going to show you some easy ways to track this.